Here we are back on this, gloomy Wednesday, July 14th, 2021. Now, this past weekend, we had one of the most anticipated UFC fights of the year with Conor McGregor taking on Dustin Poirier. Now, this was to ultimately settle the score, being that they were 1-1 against each other. Conor won way back in the day by a knockout. Then Dustin, not so long ago, knocked out Conor, okay? But then this one was special, okay? Who was going to win? Does Dustin Poirier get the dub and then go on to maybe get a championship fight here and there in the near future? Or, and if he wins, does Conor McGregor, does his career go away? Does he end his career in the UFC and just focus on the proper 12 that he's been selling? But it could also go the other way. If Conor wins, does this put him back in the ranking? He was ranked 5, which really kind of blew my mind, being that Conor has been away from the UFC for so long. He's only had a couple fights in the past, year or two. And, he's been okay. He hasn't been the greatest, but he is on a down slump. Okay, well, during this bout, things ultimately took a massive, massive turn when Conor McGregor snapped his ankle. I think he went for a kick, he got checked, and I think he cracked then. That's what Dustin Poirier was saying. And once he hit him again, and he tried stepping back, ultimately the ankle just flip-floppity, whatever you want to do. Looked gross, was not awesome at all. Kind of reminded me of Dak Prescott last year when he was against the Giants, and his ankle was all, in shambles. Okay, so that was one hell of a way to start the weekend, okay? Dustin Poirier gets the dub from a doctor stoppage. But then on Monday, okay, a couple days ago, we had the MLB Home Run Derby take place with some absolute fucking bombs just being hit out of the park. It was great. Really, I think it was better than 2 years ago and the year before that, and so 2019, 2018, excuse me, because I think they did it a lot quicker. The timeouts and everything, giving them breaks to be during their at-bats was pretty good. But it was awesome, okay? Shohei Ohtani was supposed to be the man going into this, the first pitcher to start a home run derby and start in the All-Star game as the starting pitcher and also bat leadoff, okay? The first one ever in MLB history. So this guy was supposed to be the man coming into this, but he blew it. Ultimately, he blew it, okay, in the first round against Juan Soto, who, they ended up going into double overtime. Okay, so the first overtime, I think you get an extra minute to hit home runs to see if you guys, who would win. They tied in that overtime. So they go into double overtime. Double overtime, you get 3 balls. Okay, Juan Soto, or however you want to say it, hit all 3 out the park. Okay, Shohei Ohtani comes in, misses the first one. It's all over. Juan Soto moved on the next round and so on. But Pete fucking Alonso was up there just fucking destroying the ball all night long. This dude made it look easy, like it was literally second nature to him, okay? 35 home runs in the first round. Now, Salvador Perez, who actually went against him the first round, did pretty good. He hit 28, which is the second most in the round. But, you kind of figured you had to compete with 35, because 35 is ridiculous in 3 minutes or 4 minutes, whatever he got. It's absolutely mind-blowing what he was able to do. Okay? But Pete Alonso, okay, he literally made this look easy. Like, it was supposed to just be given to him. And that was great. Okay? He ultimately went on to become the MLB Home Run Derby champ, which was in back-to-back derbies, because remember last year we did not have the All-Star game, so it wasn't able to be able to take place. But 2 years ago in 2019, Pete Alonso came in, hit a crap ton of home runs again, and won that derby. So he's back-to-back home run derbies champ. Okay, last night we had the All-Star game. I got to watch the beginning of it, and then the internet wanted to, go funky on me, and so we couldn't watch it. But hey, the American League got the dub, which is awesome. Shohei Ohtani was the best pitcher of the night. Vladimir Guerrero won the MVP. But yeah, okay. So with that being said, let's get to the world of football, shall we? Are you ready to get your fix? Well, you guys see my video the other day. I think it was on Tuesday, so yesterday. There is absolutely nothing taking place in the world of football. Now, there is some things here and there, and we're going to get to a couple of them today. But really, it's that dry period. We've talked about this, okay? So with nothing going on in the NFL other than, people being dumb, getting arrested and whatnot, we're going to keep things a little bit short today. Maybe not. We'll see how far and how long this goes. But I am going to list my top 5 wide receivers heading into the 2021 NFL season. So I will start with my number 5 and work my way to number 1. So let's get started with my 5th ranked receiver heading into this year. I got DK Metcalf of the Seattle Seahawks. Now, standing at 6'4", 229 pounds, this dude is a wrecking ball. Absolute menace on the field. He's huge. You've seen the pictures when he got drafted, shirt off. The dude has 2 to 4% body fat on him. Crazy. This guy is next level if you want to talk about body and muscle-wise, okay? He's also next level when it comes to being a receiver in the NFL. Okay, he has absolute, unbelievable speed when he's in the open field. And, we saw that, okay, when he ran down Budda Baker last year, who we all thought was about to score a touchdown out of nowhere. Here's Budda. And then here comes DK. Just ran him right over. So it was great, okay? We've seen his speed. Now, DK Metcalf in 2 seasons has posted 2,203 yards, 17 touchdowns. It's pretty good. Okay, last year was a huge year for Metcalf, showing that he can be a top receiver in this league. Okay, he had 1,303 yards and 10 touchdowns. Okay, so that outdid his first year, his previous year before that. Okay, about 200 or 300 more yards than that. Or probably 400, excuse me. So he's really good, okay? Now, with Russell Wilson as his quarterback, I have no doubt in my mind that DK will put up another 1,000-plus yard season unless, Will Dissly and Tyler Lockett and, whoever the running back may be will pick it up. Okay, that is all depending on all of them, all those guys. But I think DK Metcalf is going to have another 1,000-yard season and be a top receiver in this NFL, or in the NFL. So for my 4th ranked wide receiver, I got Stefon Diggs from the Buffalo Bills. Okay, I know I probably could have moved him up a little bit, being that he was the yardage leader last year, but I think number 4 is pretty solid. Now, Stefon Diggs has continued to grow into a superstar wide receiver in the NFL, okay, with his stats increasing every single season, basically. I think there was one that he kind of dipped a little bit, but I believe he was injured in one of those seasons, so that's okay. The guy has continued to grow and continue to get better and be a better wide receiver in the NFL. Okay, Diggs has had 3 straight seasons of 1,000-plus yards, okay, with a good amount of touchdowns to back it up. Now, last season was Diggs' first season with the Buffalo Bills, and boy, oh boy, was it a great pairing with Josh Allen, who has an absolute cannon. The dude just sits back there and just to the moon. I'm telling you, he just throws that ball like it's nobody's business, okay? This is a very, very good pairing to bring into the Buffalo Bills organization for Josh Allen, okay, to grow him a little bit more and become that quarterback that we all know and have seen that he can be, okay? Now, Stefon Diggs is also by far one of the best route runners in the NFL. I'd say probably 2 or 3 ranking-wise in the NFL, okay? He has very, very crisp cuts. If you watch his film, the dude's coming up, and bam, he's already going the other way. It's just nuts, okay? This guy has very, very quick feet, and he's able to make defenders look silly out there, okay? Now, whether, Josh Allen can get him the ball, that's another story, but we seen it last year. He was able to, okay? Now, I put him at 4 because, granted, last year was his best year. He was the leading NFL receiver in receiving yards, okay, with 1,535. But I still think there is better talent elsewhere. Okay, so don't get me wrong. Stefon Diggs will make a run this year, especially being the number 1 target for Josh Allen. And we may see another 1,300-plus yard season from Stefon Diggs with probably 10-plus touchdowns. So he's going to put himself up there in the top receivers of the NFL once again. Okay, so for my 3rd ranked wide receiver, I got one of the most consistent wide receivers, but also one that is really never talked about. Okay, it's this man's teammate right over here, Tom Brady. Okay, Mike Evans of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. I think I had him in my top 5 last year, and there's a reason for that. This dude has had 7 straight seasons of 1,000-plus receiving yards, including his rookie year. Okay, we see rookies sometimes break into that 1,000 yardage stat line. Justin Jefferson did it last year with 1,400. So, I mean, it's doable. But it's still, like, it's just jaw-dropping to, like, be able to put up 1,000 yards consistently every year, okay? Not get hurt, not let injuries get to you. Even if you have a good team, a shitty team, it doesn't matter. This guy was able to put up 1,000+ yards every single season he's been in the NFL. And it probably won't be any different this year as well. I mean, they are stacked, okay? They got Chris Godwin, Antonio Brown, Rob Gronkowski, O.J. Howard, Cameron Brate, Ronald Jones, Leonard Fournette. So they have a lot of people, okay, still on the roster that are going to be looking for yards. So it's going to be a little tougher. And last year it was. He had 1,006 yards, okay? But this man continues to prove us that he's an elite receiver in this league. Now, last season, Evans recorded the most touchdowns he's had in a single season since being in the NFL with 13. Okay, so when Tom Brady's looking for a touchdown, he's going to look right at Mike Evans because he's the one that's been getting in the end zone the most, okay, and at a high rate. Now, yardage-wise, like I said, he didn't have nearly what he's been able to put up in the past, because in the past, I believe it was like 1,200 to about 1,600 yards receiving every year. But like we noted earlier, okay, there's major depth at wide receiver and running back, and especially tight end. So there are other weapons that Tom Brady can utilize on the field. Okay, so that all plays a factor. But like I said again, Mike Evans is probably, there's no doubt in my mind that Evans will have another 1,000-yard season, whether that's 1,200, 1,400, whatever. But I know he's going to break 1,000 once again this season and help lead the Buccaneers to what I hope and believe to yet another playoff appearance and hopefully a Super Bowl down the road, especially if my Minnesota Vikings over here don't want to do so, because that seems to be the thing. Okay, they don't like to go out there and win championships. They just like to win a couple games here and there, but that's all right. Okay, it is what it is. But yeah, I got Mike Evans as my number 3 ranked wide receiver. So for my second ranked wide receiver going into the 2021 season, okay, I got DeAndre Hopkins of the Arizona Cardinals. Now this one was tough, okay, because he easily could have been the number 1 ranked receiver, at least my number 1 ranked receiver. But I believe he just isn't as talented as the guy I have at number 1, and we'll get to him here shortly. I'm sure there's a couple of people out there who know my number 1 already, even though I haven't said it. I just have a feeling there's at least one person out there who knows who my number 1 guy is. But Hopkins has been able to record 4 straight 1,000-yard seasons, actually 1,100-yard seasons. Okay, absolutely bonkers. Okay, you look at last year, they had still Larry Fitzgerald, Christian Kirk, David Johnson was still, Yes, David Johnson was still there, Chase Edmonds. So they had all these different kind of weapons. Max Williams at tight end, and Kyler Murray, who's able to scramble on his feet. So they have all these weapons, but 1,100 yards for 4 straight seasons is crazy. Okay, he was the number 1 receiver in Houston. But his time came, him and the GM didn't get along, so to say. But the one thing this guy has been known for is his awareness of the ball and being able to make ridiculous plays, regardless, okay, of how many guys are covering him. I mean, we saw his amazing, last-second touchdown catch to win the game against the Bills last year. Triple cover, just bringing it down, looking at the ball like, I got it. What's up? This is my house. He's able to do these things. This guy is very, very good at what he does and will continue to be very good until he retires. He's going to be a top 5 receiver regardless of who else comes in this league, probably for the next 5 to 10 years. Okay? Just keep that in the back of your mind. So don't get me wrong. Okay? Hopkins is a very, very talented wide receiver. Okay? But in my eyes, he isn't the best one. And that leads me to my number 1 ranked wide receiver heading into the 2021 season, Davante Adams of the Green Bay Packers. Now, you can say what you will and do what you want with that piece of information, but we all understand how good Davante Adams is when he's healthy. Now, the consistency for yardage might not be there, but you also got to realize, okay, Adams has dealt with minor injuries. Okay, so he hasn't played a full 16-game season his entire career. You go back and look, every game he's been able to play, he has played. But never a full 16-game slate. And the dude is ridiculous. In 2017, he had 885 yards, 10 touchdowns in 14 games. In 2018, he had 1,386 yards, 13 touchdowns in 15 games. In 2019, 997 yards, 5 touchdowns in 12. And then last year, 1,374 yards, 18 touchdowns in only 14 games, folks. You give him 2 more games, I guarantee you he leads the NFL in receiving, leads the NFL. Actually, he did lead the NFL in touchdowns last year, but he would definitely shatter that. Again, I believe he'd have at least 20, maybe 22. It'd be hard to see, kind of hard to picture what he'd get, being that those 2 games were non-existent. But still, 1,300 yards, almost 1,400 yards, is ridiculous. So just imagine, okay, what DeAndre Adams would do in a full 16-game season. I'm telling you, this man would easily put up 1,300 plus yards and at least probably 13 to 15 touchdowns. Easily in one season, 16 games. And we could see that this year in 17 games. Now, he does have a couple hamstring issues every once in a while, but that comes with the way he runs his route. Okay, he is Green Bay's #1 receiver. Now, I also have Adams as the #1 ranked guy because he is by far, and I'm telling you, here's Adams and here's the rest of the league in route running. Okay, he's the best route runner in the NFL. Okay, his footwork, right at the get-go, when he's up in the line, okay, he's getting up, moving, doing a little quick chop steps, and bam, he's gone, and you're already behind him as a defender. Okay, he's going to go out there and make plays. He's going to make you work to defend him. It's going to be really, really hard to stop Davante Adams week in and week out, and we've seen that in the past, the last couple of years, the last 4 to 5 years. His separation, because of his footwork, is next level. This dude is able to make you look silly and able to get 60-plus yard receptions like it's nothing. Okay, score touchdowns at will because his separation and the way he moves his feet is next level. So that is my top 5 wide receivers going into the 2021 NFL season. So moving away from my top 5 wide receivers, we got some interesting news on Ben Roethlisberger, or Big Ben. So as reported by Pro Football Talk on Twitter, Ben Roethlisberger has reportedly become obsessed with his diet and his workouts. Now he is focusing on, losing weight and watching his diet. Now this is very interesting because if you remember, not too long ago, the story was that Big Ben's off-season routine consisted of beer, golf, and family time. Now there's nothing wrong with that. Absolutely nothing wrong with that. But Big Ben is 39 years old. And Colin Cowherd said it best. Why start now? What took you so long? You could have been doing this 5 years ago. And you'd be in a way better situation than you are now. Way better teams. Way better decision making. You would have been able to be on the field more, okay? Because he did deal with injuries 2 years ago. You don't see Tom Brady, okay, or Aaron Rodgers just going out slugging some beers during their offseason. Other than, obviously if you win a Super Bowl and decide, you get some tequila in you and you have some fun and you're on a boat and you take the trophy and you throw it to another boat, that's another story, okay? Hell, if I got done just winning a Super Bowl, I'd get pretty licked up if I were them too, okay? I'm not going to lie. I'd be doing keg stands, I'd be doing beer bongs or whatever and whatnot, just having the time of my life being a party animal because, God damn it, I deserve it. It's one hell of a year. However, though, I think we have all come to the conclusion, okay, that Big Ben is reaching the end of his career. So, is this routine happening a little too late? I don't necessarily think so, but I do at the same time. okay? Because he definitely could have started this a little sooner. We've seen the TB12 method. We've seen Aaron Rodgers continuously go out there and ball. Just absolutely ball out. Okay? I mean, Aaron Rodgers won the MVP last year. What are you doing, Big Ben? Time to wake up a little bit. I think that's what he finally did at the end of his career. Finally being like, oh, God damn it, I gotta lose some weight. Practice is gonna suck. You know, I can't be drinking this beer anymore. I'm gonna have this beer belly, and once I get hit, I'm gonna puke everywhere and break my leg or whatnot. I hope not. Hope that does not happen. But that's the thing. Why start it now when you could have started it, like I said, 5 years ago? Easily could have started it 5 years ago. But if I had to guess, okay, Big Ben might be in his last season in the NFL. But if not, he probably only has 2 to 3 years. So hopefully, you know, that being that he's starting to fall in love and being obsessed with his diet and his workouts, we could see a whole different transition, a whole different Big Ben these next couple of years. Be leaner and meaner. You know, what else do you want? This guy could go out there. He's not, trust me, he's not going to go out there and rush for 500 yards. The dude's probably not even going to rush for 100 in the next couple of years. Because, I mean, he does have Najee Harris in the backfield. He does have weapons to throw to in Chase Claypool, Juju Smith-Schuster, Eric Ebron. So the list goes on and on. But I think he did start this routine and becoming obsessed with this routine a little bit too late. Overall, though, I'm glad, okay, very, very glad that Big Ben has become obsessed with his workouts and diet. Because then maybe, just maybe, he won't choke like the Steelers did last season, losing to the Cleveland Browns in the playoffs and in the regular season. I mean, you guys start, 11-0? Looking like you're the talk of the town, going to go on and win a Lombardi? No. Sorry. You got too many TikTok stars on the team. You got too many beer chuggers on the team. Don't have a running back. James Conner did okay. Don't get me wrong. But he wasn't the best. Okay, he wasn't the best version of himself. So hopefully Big Ben, figures out a way to come into the season and really be amped up, be really probably rejuvenated since, it's going to be a lot of water, a lot of good food, a lot of conditioning. He's going to feel great and feel like himself again. So overall, I'm glad that he's become obsessed with this routine. So before we get away or get off the show, we're going to touch on Richard Sherman. Now, if you guys haven't heard, it's been a rough 24 hours for Mr. Richard Sherman. Very, very rough, actually. So I wake up this morning, look at a bunch of tweets, and it turns out, Richard Sherman was arrested following burglary, domestic violence. I don't really know what to think about it. Apparently his wife went out on Twitter and made a statement, or wherever she went out, and said, nobody was hurt. She wasn't hurt. The kids were fine. But he got a little too, tipsy, wobbling around, probably got all pissed, and, who knows if he has CTE or whatnot. I'd assume he does, but hopefully not. But he got a little drunk, say he was going to, kill himself and do whatnot, and hopefully that's not the case, that he actually wanted to do that. I doubt it. I mean, when you get, alcohol makes you turn into a whole different person, You got your sober self, the one that you are true, and then you go to your drunk self, and nobody knows who the hell you are. Like, it is a whole new ball game. So he probably was acting out of spite. It sucks that it had to go this way. He was arrested. Now, it was said that, he did have a hit and run where he crashed into another vehicle, or I don't know if it was another vehicle. I think he hit the curb, drove off, abandoned the car in the parking lot. They ran the plates, came back to Richard Sherman. They went and they arrested him. He's been booked and charged by the state of Washington. So, I mean, it's not a good thing to hear, especially with how good he's been. I mean, the Legion of Boom back in the day was absolutely incredible. We won't see another defense like that for some time to come. It'll probably be soon. I think there's some teams on the brink of that, like the Washington football team. They have a really good front four. But to hear this about Richard Sherman, a guy who, got out of a terrible place, went to Stanford because he's smart as shit, and then going to the NFL and making all this money, being one of the main pieces of the Legion of Boom, to now this. It's heartbreaking. I hope everything kind of goes well. I don't know too much more on the situation other than everybody's fine. He just had a little too much to drink, became stupid, did some stupid things, and he'll live to see another day, which is great. Now, as far as his free agency goes, I don't know. Do you sign him or do you not? For me, I think you go out there and you take that risk. Okay, Richard Sherman is still a very good corner. Okay, he's going to be really solid in man-to-man scenarios. But at the same time, what about his decision making? Is he all there? Is he going to do this during the regular season? Can we put all our chips in on him that he's not going to mess up? You don't know. It just sucks that this had to happen to Richard Sherman. But, like I said, he'll get through this. We're all getting through this. Everybody's alive. Everybody's okay, and that's the main thing. It just sucks to hear that Richard Sherman went out and made a stupid choice, which it shouldn't deter his NFL career, but it could. Okay, with being how old he is and whatnot, and his lack of coverage ability and all of that stuff. So that is some unfortunate news, but that's okay. We're just bringing the information to you guys, letting you guys be aware of the situation that has been going on. But yeah, that is all, okay, I got for you guys today. And like I said, as I apologize for the lack of information this entire week and a half to probably 2.5 weeks now of nothing, like literally nothing. I mean, I go dig a little bit deeper and do what I can to bring more information to you guys, but that all comes in time. But once training camp and the regular season, preseason gets started up, we'll be doing this every day. Okay, don't question me on that. Don't question my motive. Don't question my drive, because only me. Okay, I'm just kidding. A lot of us, especially me, 100 million%, whatever you want to say, are ready to watch some fucking football. Get back to normal football. Getting fans in the stadium, getting just pumped up and cheer for the home team. It's going to be great. Okay, I can't wait. But that's how the cookie crumbles for now. And until then, until we get more information, I'm going to go post about my Get Your Fix Fantasy Football League so that we can get that started, so we can start drafting. Because, hey, the league starts August 5th, man. Preseason, August 5th. Okay, Hall of Fame game. Steelers, I think Steelers-Cowboys is what it is, or something like that. I know Steelers are part of it, but it's going to be a great day, especially for me. I'm going to love it. Just go out there and have my good old time watching some football again. So, anyways, thank you, okay, for tuning in like always. We'll see you next Tuesday for sure, 100 million% at 6 p.m. like always. And you just got your fix. The Wicks. Thank you guys, and have a great day.